From Eddie Murphy's leather suits to Jim Gaffigan flushing a Hot Pocket down the toilet, I've got 15 questions for you on a topic near and dear to my heart, stand-up comedians. This is Trivia with Buds. Be it what? And welcome to a mini episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. This show comes out every single Thursday. If you want the mini version, which is usually just 10 to 15 minutes long and consists of trivia questions on a certain topic, like today's episode, stand-up comedians. If you want a longer episode, 45 minutes to an hour with guests and a little bit more competition element to it, that would be our full-length episodes every Tuesday. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll get those episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays for your listening pleasure. Man, we have a great episode coming up this Tuesday about breakfast foods and British TV shows with my pals Jen and Kara, who are great freelance TV producers, to further our all-women guest month celebrating Women's History Month on the podcast. Today is actually International Women's Day, so happy International Women's Day, everybody, and thanks for checking out my show. Before we dive into this one, a huge special thank you to all the folks who have shared their generous donations over at my brand new Patreon page. I'm super excited about that. Go to patreon.com/trivia with Buds, and you can see all the perks and rewards you can get for giving $1 to $20 per month for this show and all the different trivia things that I put out each and every day. I just sent out rewards like Beavis and Butthead stickers, 80s VHS tapes like Valley Girl and Die Hard 2, and signed Sharknado headshots of me covered in blood with my shirt off, ladies and weird dudes. I just added a $20 tier, so if you want to check that out, there's a new tier on the Patreon page. It includes a ton of stuff and a brand new secret pop culture item each month, something rare and fun and unique, and hopefully you can't get it anywhere else. If you love this show and you want to support the possibility of more mini episodes, bonus episodes, live shows in your hometown, go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and check out all the goods. And we have 85 other episodes of this show that are all named by the topics they are about. So go back and check out some of these in the feed if you're looking for some movie trivia. Check out episode 79. We did some Wes Anderson movie trivia. Episode 61, Forrest Gump and Fight Club. That was a double movie episode, a nice double feature for you. And episode 54, Summer Blockbuster Trivia. So go back and check those out. And again, if you don't want movies, look at all the other titles in the feed. There's probably something that will tickle your fancy. Without any further ado, let's dive into 15 questions on stand-up comedians as picked by my good friend Alex DeSmet, Patreon subscriber. Here we go. All right, here are 15 questions on stand-up comedians. We'll go through the questions. We'll take a little break. I'll tell you a story about me and stand-up comedy, and then we'll come back with the answers to those questions. So here's question 1, stand-up comedians. What female comedian had a special called I'ma Be Me? Was it Monique, Retta, or Wanda Sykes? Question number 1, what female comedian had a special called I'ma Be Me? Was it Monique, Retta, or Wanda Sykes? Question number 2, what comedian wrote a book called Rant in 2000? Question number 2, what comedian wrote a book called Rant in 2000? Question number 3, what comedian directed films like World's Greatest Dad and Shakes the Clown? Question number 3, what comedian directed films like World's Greatest Dad and Shakes the Clown? Question number 4, how many kids does Jim Gaffigan have? Question number 4, how many kids does Jim Gaffigan have?
3.
You think it's 3, Annabelle? Mm-hmm. Annabelle's in the recording booth with me, and by recording booth, I mean my car. Question number 5, what comedian taped her Netflix special Baby Cobra while pregnant? Question number 5, what comedian taped her Netflix special Baby Cobra while pregnant? Question number 6, in what special does Eddie Murphy wear a bright red leather suit? Question number 6, in what special does Eddie Murphy wear a bright red leather suit? Question number 7, what network was host to almost a dozen George Carlin specials? Question number 7, what network was host to almost a dozen George Carlin specials? Question number 8, Who had a Comedy Central special called Sweat the Small Stuff? Question number 8, who had a Comedy Central special called Sweat the Small Stuff? Question number 9, in what city did the Drew Carey Show take place? Question number 9, in what city did the Drew Carey Show take place? Question number 10, what comedian hosts the game show Cash Cab? Question number 10, what comedian hosts the game show Cash Cab? Question number 11, Chris Rock's newest special on Netflix is named after what musical instrument? Question number 11, Chris Rock's newest special on Netflix is named after which musical instrument? Question number 12, what comedian is known for the trademark line, "Here's your sign"? Question number 12, what comedian is known for the trademark line, "Here's your sign"? Question number 13, how many comedians made up the original Kings of Comedy? Question number 13, how many comedians made up the original Kings of Comedy? Question number 14, who had a joke about giving someone a super middle finger? Question number 14, who had a joke about giving someone a super middle finger? And question number 15, who did the voice of anger in the movie Inside Out? Question 15, who did the voice of anger in the movie Inside Out? All right, those are our questions for stand-up comedians. Let's tell a quick story about me and stand-up comedy, and then we'll get into the answers. All right, here's a quick story about me and stand-up comedy. As you know from listening to this show, I always talk about it. I've been doing stand-up comedy since about 2006, and I was just thinking about this the other day because I heard through Facebook that this radio station called the Loop 97.9 in Chicago, which has been around forever, it's like a classic rock station and morning talk and that kind of stuff, is becoming a Christian radio station. So some Christian company bought it, and it's officially ending, which happened recently with Q101, another huge alternative rock station in Chicago. But anyway, the Loop 97.9 sponsored a contest in 2006, the fall of 2006, to open for Dennis Miller in Chicago at a place called the Genesee Theater in Waukegan, Illinois. So I entered this contest. This was YouTube came out in 2005, so this was 2006, so like people weren't uploading videos online yet like crazy. You couldn't take them on your phone or anything like that. And you had to upload a clip of you doing stand-up, so you just had to upload an audio clip. And me and my friend Ken Garr, who was the very first a guest on the very first episode of this show, along with Nate Weatherup, we uploaded clips, and somehow me and him made it into the finals. They were like on the website, Loop 97.9. It was like, here's our 4 finalists. It was me and Ken, and then like a woman talking about how she was a chocoholic or something like that. And then like an old dude, and his clip was just him talking into his computer microphone. There was no audience or stand-up element to it. It was just him telling like a story or something. So the pickings were pretty slim to see who was going to open for Dennis Miller, and we basically knew it was like either me or my friend Ken Garr. And I did a bunch of shows at my college, Western Illinois University, and I got people to vote for me. You can go online and vote, I think, one time. So I got all these people to do that at my college, and I ended up winning the contest. And I got to open for Dennis Miller in front of 2,000 people, and I'd only been doing stand-up like 9 months. So it was a really cool opportunity. And they gave my family like center, second row center seats. So like everybody I knew was there. And I did like 15 minutes. It went really well. And then I was supposed to introduce him to come on stage, but he was like late to the show. So they're like, we're going to do an impromptu intermission. So we did this intermission. I walked out into the lobby, and all these people were getting drinks and stuff, and they saw me, and they all turned and stopped and started clapping. And it was like the coolest moment because they were like, oh, that's the guy we just saw. And then I went and sat out in the audience to watch Dennis Miller, and everybody in the row kind of like clapped and was like, there's that guy. And it just felt really cool, especially so early on, to do a show in front of that many people and have it go okay. And then after the show, Dennis Miller, I asked him for some advice. His show was great, by the way. And I was like, hey, do you have any advice for an up-and-coming comedian? And he was like, find out if you want to do this as a career in the next 5 years or so. Because I was 20, I think I was 20 at the time. He goes, so find out in the next 5 years if you want to do this as a career. And if you do, find a partner who will be by your side the whole time you do it. So I did both those things, and here I am now hosting trivia almost every day, which is a form of comedy in my head. So I dig it. And thanks, Dennis Miller, who was one of the answers to the questions. We're going to get to more of the answers to the questions right now. Let's see what you knew. All right, here we go. These were the answers to your stand-up comedian questions. We had 15 questions, and here are the answers. Question number 1. What female comedian had a special called I'ma Be Me? Was it Monique, Retta, or Wanda Sykes? The rare multiple choice to start the mini-episode questions, and it was Wanda Sykes, everybody. Wanda Sykes, who I've ridden in an elevator with more than once at the Hollywood Production Center in Glendale. And she's not super chatty in an elevator. I think I said hello, and she said hi, and I go, in my head, oh my God, that's Wanda Sykes. But then that was about it. Wanda Sykes, everybody. Number 2, what comedian wrote a book called Rant in 2000? That was Dennis Miller, who I talked about in my quick story about opening for him in 2006. It was Rant. He's known for his rants, and that was 2000. Dennis Miller. Number 3, what comedian directed films like World's Greatest Dad and Shakes the Clown? One of my favorites, Bobcat Goldthwait. Had the honor of opening for him at the Schaumburg Chicago Improv about 7 years ago, and I think World's Greatest Dad had just come out, and I got to tell him how much I loved it, and he really appreciated it because I started pulling out scenes and things that I liked and lines of dialogue, and he was like, oh, this guy actually saw it. So Bobcat, really funny dude. Number 4, how many kids does Jim Gaffigan have? He has 5 kids. He's Irish Catholic. Of course he's got 5. I'm the youngest of 5, and Jim Gaffigan has 5 as well. Question number 5, what comedian taped her Netflix special Baby Cobra while pregnant? That was Ali Wong, everybody. Ali Wong, number 5. Question 6, in what special does Eddie Murphy wear a bright red leather suit? That was Eddie Murphy Delirious, which was the special I saw in about 8th grade, and I went, ooh, I need to do some kind of comedy performing. I need to do that because I was addicted to how big of laughs he was getting and how cool that must feel to get those kinds of laughs, which is why I wear a bright red leather suit every time I do stand-up. If you've seen me, you know that. Number 7, what network was host to almost a dozen George Carlin specials? HBO. That was kind of the king of stand-up specials back in the day before Netflix. George Carlin, HBO. Question number 8, who had a Comedy Central special called Sweat the Small Stuff? This was one of those rare ones that would only come on every once in a while, but I thought was very funny every time I watched it. Kevin James, the King of Queens, Sweat the Small Stuff. It's a lot about food and not working out and stuff like that. Question number 9, in what city did the Drew Carey show take place? If you know the show's intro, you'll know they always say Cleveland rocks, and the answer was Cleveland, Ohio. Question number 10, what comedian hosted the game show Cash Cab? Ben Bailey. It was on in the mid-2000s, went off a couple years ago, and they just brought it back again. Ben Bailey, Cash Cab. That's like my goal as a trivia host comedian is to, come full circle, host a game show, and then tour again as a stand-up comedian because people know me from the game show. So maybe that'll happen. Who knows? Number 11, Chris Rock's newest special is named after which musical instrument? Tambourine. I urge you to go watch this special right now. It's very, very funny. Netflix, Chris Rock, Tambourine. Question number 12, what comedian is known for the trademark line, "Here's your sign"? Bill Engvall, part of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour guys. Bill Engvall, "Here's your sign." Question number 13, how many comedians had the bill on the original Kings of Comedy? 4. Let's see if we can name them. We had Bernie Mac. We had Steve Harvey. We had Cedric the Entertainer, and was it D.L. Hughley, I think? I can't remember. It's one. I think it's those 4, but it is 4. Question number 14, who had a joke about giving someone a super middle finger? Dane Cook. Dane Cook was the answer. Dane Cook, the Sufi movement. Question number 15, who did the voice of anger in Inside Out? That was Lewis Black. So those are your answers to the 15 questions. How'd you do? How did you do on those questions? Hope you had a good time testing yourself on those stand-up comedian questions. Hit me up on social media at Ryan Buds on everything and tell me what you did out of 15. Let me know how you did. My friend Jen Wojner, she reached out last week. She said, I got 12 out of 15 on the Winter Olympics. So let me know how you did on social media. Also, if you like stuff, go and support this show by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/trivia with Buds. All the funds raised there will go into making Trivia with Buds larger than life. So tell a friend about that. Donate between $1 and $20, and you can get some amazing stuff mailed to you. Some people are starting to get packages, and if you listen to this show, if you're a Patreon subscriber, take videos of you unboxing your package, of you opening your stuff or holding up the stuff that you got, and post it in Patreon or on social media and tag me in it. I'd love to see what you got and what you liked. Remember, this Tuesday, we're back with a full-length episode with breakfast foods and British TV shows. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, if you like Peep Show, if you like The Office, the original version, definitely check out that episode. And we have a new mini episode next Thursday on arcade games, picked by one of my $15 a month Patreon subscribers, Earl Clark. Special thanks to all my Patreon subscribers, including Earl Clark, Alex DeSmet, Jordan Zeilinger, Natalie Santiago, Alexis Eck, Fiona Neville, Jess Whitener, and Manny McNelly. Thank you guys so much. I really sincerely appreciate you. And don't forget, Saturday, April 21st at Last Name Brewing in Upland, California, play our special event, which is 3 hours on Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars trivia. Oh my God. Go to triviawithbuds.com, click the event link towards the bottom. It's $10 online for a ticket or $12 at the door, and you can have teams up to 4. And the whole event's limited to 100 people. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and I hope to see you there if you live in SoCal. Thanks for listening to another episode of Trivia with Buds. Have a great rest of your week. Cheers.